A pleasant good night to each and every one of you. This is Cyril Uruwei with Dangriga Unmuted. Unmuting the truth, demanding change. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining on tonight. Tonight, I will be interviewing two individuals who are running up for caretaker for the United Democratic Party. We have my brother Simeon B. Lorenzo, and we also have Earth Lopez. First, I will catch up with Simeon, and then I will bring on Earth. But before I do that, before we get into the interview with Earth and with Simeon, I want to touch on what happened today at the Russell Chiste Auditorium. I hope that we here in Dangriga are paying attention to what is taking place around us. About a month ago, or more than a month ago, the government released a public document, a public press release, stating that their third consultation would be on the 24th of September 2025, Wednesday, 24th, 2025. That is today. So they showed up today, but before I even comment about them showing up, I have to talk about just the whole idea of setting up a consultation during the time when everybody that at school, teachers are at school, parents are at work. You know, folks, friends, I honestly, lately I've been trying so hard not to allow my emotions to dictate what I do, not to allow my emotions to dictate what I say and how I sound, right? Because the brazenness of this current administration, of the Bresenio administration, these people are so brazen. They really don't care. I wanted to ask Karim Musa, I wanted to ask Henry Charles Usher. Louis Zabani was there, our era representative. I watch the news and I really get upset, and then I get numb. I get upset and then I get kind of numb. Why? Because this type of in your face disrespect, and some of you might not see it as such. Some of you who are so dedicated to your political party, you just choose to be blind and deaf. They scheduled a consultation for Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's what they were advertising. I went to Russell Chiste about 1 or shortly after 1 p.m. Actually, I was here at my home just hustling, bustling, doing what I need to do because I wanted to get there, at a decent time, long before they close off at 4. And while I'm here at home, um, I'm getting text messages, voice messages, text messages. Um, but I refuse to check these messages because I am rushing. I need to rush out. I'm heading out to this consultation. Finally, when I got there, the lady at the front, or a lady at the front that worked at Russell Chiste, looked at me as if though, and this is not a criticism on the lady, just to express share my experience. She looked at me as like I'm lost, like what part you going? That's the kind of look that I got from her. Nice lady. And I leaned my head to look through the door to see if whatever happened in there. She said it done. Now when she said it done, honestly, I thought to myself, um, one second, brothers and sisters. Yeah, so when she told me it's over, it done, I thought to myself, maybe I did at the wrong place. Maybe I come the wrong location. Maybe I know yeah, they got this thing. Maybe this lady don't know why I am here. And then I gone and I peep inside that Russell Chester with it. Finally, I came out and I checked my messages and several messages. Boy, this thing done for 11:20 or 11 before 11:30. They said by midday on the news. And one thing I don't like about the media, and all of them do this. I don't know if they get paid off. I don't know if they just have to spin it what kind of way. Like, listen to the news carefully, the way how they spin the conversation. One out of them, Channel 7 or Channel 5, said that the sentiment, the feeling of the people is mixed, right? Mixed sentiment. There is no mixed sentiment. Most of the people don't know where it happened. They don't understand what's going on. Most of the people don't understand what's happening. Most people here in Dangriga don't even, you ask them about the 13th Amendment, they don't understand. Friends, listen to me. Please, let's get something clear. And then I could go on and on about this, but I know Simeon is waiting. I'm going to bring on Simeon, and then I'll bring on Earth after that. Simeon, again, is running up for caretaker in the convention for the United Democratic Party that's going to be held on October 5th. Earth, likewise, is running up for caretaker. Now, I want to finally kind of pause on this chapter because I plan to speak on it again. Sometimes I feel numb to all the atrocities, the corruption, what happen. It's almost like, what are we going to do about it? Because we talk, we complain, we call out these people, but it seemed that like it fall on deaf ears. Nobody care. Why would you set a consultation meeting? I wanted to go there and ask them how important this consultation or these consultation meetings are. Because if they are important, if the people of Dangriga, if Belize need to know about the 13th Amendment, if Belize need to understand what's at stake, I'm almost certain, just like Dickie Bradley, just like Adramatura, just like Arta Saldiva, many of these great minds, many of these great minds um, are disagreeing. They are saying no to the 13th Amendment. All right? These people are saying no to the 13th Amendment, but yet still, the government is sending representatives to different. These are the third consultation, by the way. They have approximately 90 days to inform the people, more or less. This is just the third. And as a matter of fact, I don't even call this the third because if you ask me, they need to come back to Dangriga. They need to come back to Dangriga and take us seriously. We know that wasn't a consultation. Why will you count 11 people and say that the people are divided as to how they feel? What are you doing? Who do you take us for, like fools? Dangriga will really sit back and stand for this? Come on, people. Are we really just going to accept that it is what it is? They pass through Dangriga that what? They don't really like Dangriga. Then I like, you know, you don't want to be petty. You don't want to be you don't want to be petty. But sometimes you think, you wonder why, if you advertise that you will have a consultation from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and before 12 o'clock, you bail out. Before 12 o'clock, the place empty. Russell Chiste Auditorium clean. Clean as a whistle. I went there. I went there. Let me war gauge. Any government in power pay these media house thousands of dollars not to make them look bad. I believe that, Bedrin. I really and truly believe that because you listen to the news. IFA, I know IFA not agree. And there is something in the news that said something about how, and IFA didn't say anything about her position. The last time I checked, why I am calling out IFA publicly, openly, because IFA was on my show not too long ago, and IFA commented on the 13th Amendment. She was clear that she's against it. So I am assuming that IFA is still against it. They not show nobody with talk. Nobody that actually talk. Go and check the Facebook page for these people. I forgot how the name of the page. Government, whatever you name. Go and check the page. The presentation, you will not see any of the attendees talking. You will not see any of them talking. Why can't we hear what they are saying, what people are thinking? That's the one. I will. Okay, let's see who I have. I have Earth in the waiting room. I know I scheduled Simeon first. Let me check on Simeon. Earth, if you hear me, let's see if Simeon will be willing to go after you since you are already in the waiting room. Simeon, if you are hearing me, you could simply respond via WhatsApp. You know, this thing irritates me for real, right? And what is even more irritating is that we as a people, we will simply accept, okay, Simeon is in the has arrived. Okay, I'm not seeing your video, my brother. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys signed on. Tonight is going to be a mixture. We're going to have Simeon presenting himself, and we'll also have Earth. Simeon, I already have you in the room, but I'm not seeing your video. Okay, let's see here. All right, just hang tight with me, folks, as I bring on Simeon. All right, very good. Let's see. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Very good. Let me put on my headset. All right, you know, brothers and sisters, just hang tight for me, Simeon. We have to testing. All right, you know, we have to be mindful of the things around us. We have to be mindful of the powers around us. Dangriga should not tolerate or accept if this 13th Amendment is so important, if it is vital, if it is essential, it is necessary. We're talking about the Constitution, the highest law in the land. The highest law in the land. So I want to ask these leaders, how important is this consultation meeting? How important are these meetings? Because you're not taking it serious enough. And above that, you not take Dangriga people serious enough. What? You will schedule from 10 to 4 when everybody that at work, people will pass through maybe through their lunch break after 12:30-ish, and on a bail out before 12 o'clock. Then contact some media for the news to throw up on and present Dangriga in a certain kind of way. People, on a wake up. Sarahuma, on a wake up. These people are taking us for fools. I don't care which party you support, PUP, UDP, you have to call a spade a spade. This is ridiculous. It's a shame. And you know what? We have this thing about Garifuna. When I talk against Garifuna or when I call out Garifuna, I really want to have a sit down with our mayor and ask him about this, how he really feel about this 13th Amendment. Because, my brother, I doubt you understand what's at play here. This is just a political play. This is theatrics. Let me bring on Simeon. Simeon, are you there? All right. Greetings, my brother. Let me put you on the screen live. Folks, once again, good evening, good night to all of you, wherever you may be. I want to say good night to those of you in the diaspora. Tonight, with me, I have Mr. Simeon Lorenzo. You know, it's kind of funny to me now because I interviewed, what's his name, Aaron Anderson. And Aaron Anderson, I kept asking Aaron Anderson to remind me of who this other candidate is, right? This Simeon Lorenzo. I probably asked him about 3 times and I really didn't realize it was you, right? And I know you. I've known you from very, very long time. So you are... What's that? Yes. You know, and when I found out, and actually, what's his name? Jamal. was walking. He was doing his usual morning walk, and he said, man, you have to meet, my brother, man, this dude that I'm supporting. And he said, Simeon Lorenzo. And I said to him, Simeon Lorenzo. I said, boy, I don't know this name. This name not ring a bell at all. But eventually you called, and I'm like,
Man, old school, long
this,
time.
yeah, I knew you from a long time. So listen, my brother, there's a lot
Greetings, man.
I
Greetings.
can say to introduce you to our friends out there, to those who are signed on, looking out to hear from you. You are here because you are running up as a potential candidate for the caretaker position for the United Democratic Party. Um, just for those people who don't know you and who might not have heard of Simeon Lorenzo, kindly introduce yourself in few words.
Yes, greetings, my people from Dangriga, and greetings to Facebook viewers. For those who don't know me well, my name is Simeon Lorenzo. I'm a original Griga man, born and raised from 705 to Bush Street for sure. You know, my people have been there over 100 years. We're founders of this community. So I am just a part of the soil, and I grew up here, Dangriga. In all my life, I'm passionate about my home. Ghana primary school, high school, kindergarten. Did my early education here, and my family is still here. A lot of family is here, and I am very grateful that this is a good time for me to present myself publicly in terms of public leadership. I think it's important that we as locals need to come to our community and serve our community well. And I am just here to provide my service and do my duty in terms of my community. It's very important that every man in this country must provide some level of service and give back to this country. And this is where I'm at in my life. And for those who don't know me, well, you'll get to know me. And I've been around for a long time in terms of my work in the industry, citrus, banana, coconuts. I've been involved in entertainment, promoting shows locally here. I've been a teacher. I'm now a tour guide and tour leader. I do a lot of tourism activities right now. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I keep myself busy. And you get to know a lot about me once we meet, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that King has given me to present myself to the public. And I can speak more, but I will just a start.
Very good. Thank you, my brother. Now, Simeon, I know you as a person. I've seen you around many, many years. We don't
Mhm.
communicate quite a lot. So I can't say, okay, Simeon is the man. I can only vouch for the time when I've
Yes.
been in touch with you, right? Now, you are running up for caretaker for the United Democratic Party.
Right.
Let's start with the genesis, your genesis as a public figure. What are some things that you have done for your community or for any community that inspires others to do what you're doing, and not only that, but to show that you are ready to lead or to take that leadership role?
Well, from when I was one of the things I was always been passionate about in my community was sports and entertainment. It's very key that we are very talented people in our community, and we have a lot of very creative minds here. And one of the things from early age, I was involved in organizing competition, basketball competitions in terms of sports here. I did for a couple of years, and then from there on, I decided that culture was a thing that I wanted to push a lot heavily, and I chose the entertainment route in terms of events and doing all that. I do most of the artists I've worked with um, from that time until this time. But in terms of my experience locally, in terms of community service, that hasn't been something that have been done in terms of my community because I've been away in terms of my studies and I've been preparing myself in terms of work and all that. And I feel like this is the time in terms of my age and my life that I will have much more time in terms of putting more work back into my community. So all these years, Uruwei is just a preparation time. I always feel like the past 20, 30 years in terms of my schooling and in terms of my experience in work and all that has prepared me for this time. So it's not that we haven't done much in terms of service, but we feel that there are certain times in our life that we need to figure out what is our cause and what is our duty in terms of giving our time. So I feel like at my time now is to serve in terms of whatever capacity, in terms of leadership, in terms of doing community service work, things that will make my community worthwhile. We all have our process and our time in terms of making decisions. And I feel like at this age and in my life, this is where I feel like it's going to be a lot more fruitful in terms of giving back my time and my service to my community. So that's where I stand.
Very good. I want to pause from you and what you've been up to lately and focus more on what it means to be a caretaker. This is somewhat, in my opinion,
Mm.
a new title or role, so to
Yes.
speak,
Yes.
especially with the division that's going on in
Mm.
UDP currently. In basic terms, explain to me what's happening on October 5th. What is this caretaker thing all about?
The
We're kind
UDP,
of stepping
the
some steps
caretaker, the
backward.
caretaker convention, special convention on October 5th, will decide. Really, the party is in a reset position right now in terms of organizing. And this caretaker convention, the person that comes out of this convention will be more or less duly responsible to reorganize and put the party back together. It also means that the caretaker person is shadowing as the ER rep for the constituency for the party, meaning that in the same likeness, the person who is the ER rep right now doing the duties, we as the caretaker in our position will do those same duties in our own way to prepare ourselves because really it's a shadow position in terms of preparing for the new ER rep and member of parliament in the community.
So, is it safe to say that the caretaker, the one that is, let's say you are elected or Earth is
Mm.
elected,
Mm.
Richard Webster,
Yes.
Aaron Anderson. So, whichever one of you win this caretaker position, is it safe to say that you are the one who's going to likely run up for the era representative?
Well, not really, because only for the next 3 years, because we have convention every 3 years. So this is only for this 3 years, the next 3 years, and then from there, if based on the decision of the party in terms of another convention, then that will be it. But this is only for the next 3 years of the next coming 3 years in terms of managing the affairs, in terms of the day-to-day of the party, and to ensure that whatever things that need to be done in terms of preparation for the next coming election, in terms of representation, the caretaker will be the person responsible for doing so.
So let me ask you a direct question. For only 3 years, let's say you win the caretaker, and I'm assuming this goes to all of you running up, that if or when you win, you will likely want to go further because
Yes,
a
of course.
caretaker is just caretaker,
Yes.
right? So how does that look in your head from this point moving forward? Do you believe that you can do it? And what makes you really think that you can do it? Twofold question. You have this thing that the others probably don't have.
Yes, I am fully confident in my capacity to lead in terms of being a new era in this community for Dangriga. Um, my confidence, I mean, like I told you earlier, I prepared myself, and there are certain things that I feel that I am able to give back in terms of community service and work. And I believe that the party and the community requires a new sense of leadership, a new direction in terms of what leadership is, the capacity in terms of what type of person we want in terms of leading our community moving forward. And we will have to be the person making the decisions. And I feel like I'm confident enough in terms of I bring certain skill level to the table, I bring certain experience to the table, And that is where I feel like why I'm so confident in terms of my role, in terms of put, making a difference in terms of my community. So it's not an easy thing. I do have a lot of work ahead of me in terms of getting to know people, and but I believe in the next 3 years or so, prior to the next general election, I will definitely get a lot more done in terms of road work, meet new people, engage in selling my plan, things like that. Will be able to help to convince people that my vision is the way forward in terms of growing this community. We are, in my view, we are tired of the same old ideology we always take on politicians, and I believe that I personally could be a game changer in terms of what we view as politics in this community, and we have to learn that political power is key as well in terms of our growth in the community. So that is where I'm at, and I'm fully confident that people will make the right choice.
Thank you, my brother. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of things. Aaron Anderson said something that I think would be exciting as well, and that I think others would appreciate. He said we should have a full-on debate. Mr. Lorenzo, keep the work going, brother. Together we will rise. That's Aaron Anderson. Thank you, my brother Aaron. Good spirit, good spirit. Listen, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty of things. Let's zoom into Dangriga, okay? Let's zoom into Dangriga, meaning we're going on the streets. We're looking at the schools. We're looking at children. We're looking at elders. We're looking at parks. We're looking at development, business opportunities, entrepreneurship.
Mm.
What do you see when you hear the word or the name Dangriga as to where we are at as a people economically? What do you see? Where do we stand? And where would you like us to go?
I think we're struggling right now, based on my conversations with people in the past few weeks. The economic situation is very rough here in our community. If you can see my plan that I produced in terms of the Grigonomic plan, which is basically based on economics, um, I recognize that we have an economic situation in our community, and we have to figure out within our own selves in terms of our community how we can grow our plan and grow our community. My plan, as you can, if you may have read a few of things that I've said in terms of how do we utilize our natural resources to grow Dangriga, I think we need to figure out that yes, we have a special land, we have nice water, we have creative minds, and we need to figure out how can we capitalize on what we have in terms of our community, in terms of what we have already, rather than just
Mhm.
thinking about what can be given to us. And
Right.
one of the things is that, as I see, in terms of our human capital is lacking per se, in terms of people are not trained skillfully, things are not being done in terms of building the human capital in our community. I mean, as an entertainment person, as a tour guide myself, there are many things that we can do in terms of enhancing our human capital. Because for us to foster and for us to grow prosperously in this community, we need to build our human capital to the capacity where we can handle anything that comes our way in terms of our community. You know, we talk about buildings and we want to do this and build that, but the most important thing in my view is to how do we enhance our human capital for us to grow
Mhm.
forward, because without that, we weren't going to survive anything at all, because everything is coming at us. A lot of people is coming at us. They want culture, they want music, they want all these things, but are we prepared in terms of giving these people what they want and the capacity in terms of level, in terms of the standards that we're looking for in terms of international standards? Because we want to sell tourism in a community, but we don't want to get a substandard at all. We want to get entertainment, but we don't want substandard entertainment. We want to get them a higher level, but we have to look at ourselves internally first before we go outside and say this is what we want. So in my view, moving forward in terms of Belize, in terms of Dangrigas particularly, we have to build our people. Meaning the next generation has to have skill, has to be skillful in terms of
Mhm.
operating and being a part of the next future of Dangriga. Because if you're not skillful, bro, you'll be wasting time. And in my view, I being one person who believe in enhancing skill, you know, making sure that you have something that is worthwhile that will enhance the economy and build your own self and self-sustain your own self. You don't have to depend on anybody, but grow within each other. That will make a lot of difference in terms of movement going on, because buildings and buildings and hotel are come bedroom, but if we don't have the people who are there doing the work that are skillfully, that they got skill, it won't make any sense at all. So my future is that plan, prepare, train, invest in our people first before we can take on anything else in this world.
Beautiful. Thank you for that information. Now, final question I have, and then I'll give you the opportunity to, just give your last word and vibe with your people. And folks online, I will also give you the opportunity to ask your questions. If you have a question for Simeon, you could type it in the comment box and I will read it out. Now, we talk about Dangriga being, I will say that we are stifling economically.
Mhm.
Now, you have this plan, Griganomics, right? Apart from your plan, when it comes to, because you are running up for caretaker,
Mhm.
and I understand, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
the role of the caretaker would be to help build, grow the party, right? Considering the
And the
position
community,
that
of
you are
course.
in.
And the community, of course. The community, of course.
So will you guys be focusing on building the party and focusing on the community?
It's all about the people, my brother. It's not about just one thing. You have to build within every all aspects. You're not just doing party
How do
politics.
you how do you feel about the current state of the UDP, and how will that affect you from building, helping your team, helping your colleagues in your party, and also be looking out for the community?
With everything, Uruwei, there has to be a breakdown before we build back. I am believing at this time, this is a good time for the party to reassess its own situation and reset in terms of brand new. That's the reason why the party has engaged in terms of seeking out new faces, new people, new ideologies that will, not new ideologies per level in terms of brand new, but in terms of understanding what the fundamentals of what it's all about to be in party politics. And I think that it's just a temporary situation happening right now in terms of what's going on, and things will get
Why
better.
is it why is it a good thing? Why is it a good time?
Because the in every generation we all know that some things have to be broken down to build back up. And this is a good
Okay.
time in my view because we are seeing a lot of things going on in terms of why we have such a why the government or the cabinet function the way they are, and do we need to go back to that type of how do I say that skewed government where they have full control and power in terms of what they want to do. It's a good time for democracy to reassess itself in terms of understanding that we cannot just give full control to one and expect not to feel on the other side. And that is where we as a people need to realize that once we give power to the cabinet per se, we are limiting ourselves to just to what is being told to us. Hence, where we can
Mm-hmm.
balance things up, where we can show that okay, there is some level of democracy in place that will help us grow forward, and that is what I'm thinking. We know ourselves that there's something that we will never go back to again, and the party will definitely seek in that direction, never to go back to the way it was been functioning. Hence, the reason why the idea of bringing new faces and bringing new people to the party.
Thank you. Simeon Lorenzo, he's a candidate running up for caretaker for the United Democratic Party convention to be held on October 5th. Simeon, this is your opportunity to talk to your people, talk to the ones who are qualified to vote for you. What message do you have for them? Your final words.
Yes, my people of Dangriga, I am truly grateful and honored to be present before you all in terms of um, starting a brand new part in my life. And I'm hoping that you, as my constituents, will be a part of this journey. It's not an easy decision to be at this point in terms of deciding the political route, but I believe it's all about leadership and to be giving our community the best leadership possible for our community and for our country. I'm hoping to be a leading example for our community, to help our community grow and prosper. It is all about us as a people. It's all about what we want to do as people and what we can do to make our community be a better place to be in this year and years to come. So on October the 5th, it's a starting process. You have the choice to come out and exercise your right as a citizen of this nation. Your power, your vote, you have the power of choice to choose who you see fit will best serve your community and will help this community grow and prosper. With all is said and done, just by you showing up means a lot because you are there to show that you are dissatisfied with the current state of affairs that is happening in this country, and you have exercised your right to make sure that you come out and show the community and the country that you are not pleased with what's happening right now, and we deserve better in this community, in this country. So I urge you voters, whether it's me, myself, Earth, Aaron Anderson, Richard, come out and exercise your right. This is the only way we'll make a difference in this community. And I expect you to make the right decision and the only decision that you ever make in terms of the best leadership that we ever given to this community. So I thank you.
Simeon, thank
I
you so
expect you
much,
to
my
come again.
brother.
All the
Listen,
best.
I
Thank
will
you.
ask you two short, decisive questions. I only want you to give me short answers, right? Bop, bop. Can we do that as you're walking out?
Tell me.
In one sentence, what's your sentiment on the Western Dairy situation? One sentence, just one.
The decision lies, there are too many, there are three sides to the story. The one side, the customer side, and there's the truth. And we all want to decide what the truth is.
All right, my brother. Listen, we'll catch up another time.
Yeah,
Another time. Thank you for your time, and
thank you.
all the best. If I don't get to see you before the convention,
We'll definitely keep in touch, man, for sure.
you never say.
Thank you, brother. Bless.
So at this time, I will be joined by my dear sister, Earth Lopez. She's also a candidate running up for Caretaker for the United Democratic Party convention to be held on October 5th. That's next month, right? So let me bring on Earth, and without further ado, let's see here. Earth, can you hear me? All right, there you are. Let me add this to the live. Stay with me. All right, friends, family, greetings once more. Let me lower this music so we can concentrate. Greetings once again, friends. With me, I have Miss Earth. I have a new name for you, but I'll save it. You remind me of a certain movie star.
Ooh.
We have with us tonight Miss Earth Lopez. Earth is running up for the caretaker position for the United Democratic Party. Earth, I'm going to get straight into it. Just give us a basic rundown of what the caretaker is all about. What exactly are the responsibilities? How did this come about? And what type of leadership is required for this position?
Good night, Uruwei. Good night, listeners and viewers, residents of the Dangriga constituency, Dangriga, Hope Creek, and Sarawee. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Thank you for that question. That is a question that I get a lot on the campaign trail because people don't quite understand who a caretaker is. And it's like one of the first times they're hearing that title, caretaker, because we're used to standard bearer or era rep. But for those of us who have been around politics for a while, especially within the UDP, caretaker is a title that we're used to. I remember Honorable Frank Papamena was a caretaker before he became a standard bearer and subsequently an era rep. So it's basically a position where you are the leader of the constituency. So the
Mm-hmm.
caretaker of the Dangriga constituency is the lead person in parallel to who a standard bearer would be. But because we are so far away from the next general election, instead of being referred to as a standard bearer, then that person is being referred to as a caretaker instead. So that means that there is still an opportunity to be challenged before the next general election. And just a point of correction, Mr. Lorenzo mentioned that it's every 3 years. It's actually every 2 years that we have our national convention. So in 2 years' time, whoever wins the caretaker position can be challenged. And at that point, they're going to install standard bearers, which is just a title that is used closer towards the general election. So it's just like playing with the different titles.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, that person is the constituency leader. That person is responsible to galvanize the party and also to build popularity within the party to support the constituents. And I actually like how Mr. Lorenzo coined it in terms of saying that we're the shadow to the era rep. So whatever the era rep is doing, the caretaker is like the parallel to that era rep, but in terms of the opposition representative.
Very good. I want to, folks, thanks again for joining us and for sticking with us. Give me some feedback regarding the audio. Earth, I can hear you, but your voice is
Okay.
somewhat low. I just want to make sure that our audience can hear you clear enough.
Okay.
While I wait for feedback from anybody in the audience, just tell me the audio is good enough, too low. Help me out, give me some feedback. Earth, now you seem to have a lot of experience under your belt and very impressive. You worked with the town council for, is it 6 years? I'm going off the top of my head.
Yes.
For about 6 years. Now, with the experience that you have had, right? Did you continue? Let's say, give me the last year you worked with the town council. What was the last year?
We lost the 2021 election. Yeah. So
2021.
2021, yeah.
Okay, good. So since 2021, I'm assuming you were well engaged with the community. You were well engaged with maybe different projects, helping out people here and there. Did you continue from 2021 up until this point in public service, in being accessible um, to people who you might have made promises to as someone running up for an election? Did you continue on that?
I believe my entire life is centered around public service, especially as a teacher. That is one of the most selfless acts that we can carry out. So I've been a teacher all this while, and I still continue to teach. I've been in public service since a very young child, and so when we lost the 2021 election, I actually took some time for personal development. So that's when I sought out opportunities in Taiwan, in the United States before moving back to Belize. So during that time from 2021 2021 up until 2025, I still continue with my public service through what I do as a teacher, and also through some of the projects and the networking that I have built throughout the years. But I remain grounded in terms of the work that I carry out in the community. But most importantly, I focused a lot on personal development over the years, and it's really paid some dividends for me, being a teacher, and also the work that I've done throughout the years.
Very good. Let's get into some specifics. What are some of the projects, some of the work that you really got your hands into that involves helping other people, moving them, helping them grow, develop?
Quite a lot. A lot of the work that I do, um, is work from the heart. Um, so I have worked a lot with women and children. When I served at the council as deputy mayor for 3 years, I was given the portfolio of women, children, youth, and so I got the important portfolio of the Child Friendly Municipality Initiative, where I was able to institute the very first Women and Children's Unit at the Town Council, ensure that when mothers go to the Town Council to register their vehicle, they have a safe place for their child to sit, color. And so we had the Women and Children's Unit, but most importantly, we also hired part-time staff who would ensure that we communicate and consult, which is something very important to me, is that we include people in the development of our town so that we communicate and consult with young people and women in every decision we make. So if we're building a street, what do the young people have to say about this street, and what are their needs? So we did this through our child advisory board at that time, and then we also have the technical steering committee that we worked with. And basically, we ensured that we factored in the voices of our women and children in every decision we made at the council. I also worked a lot with food pantries, again, especially focusing on children, ensuring that, along with those pantry, I included recipe for children to cook along with their parents, storybooks for children. I also did a lot of football marathons, women football as well. So I can recall that we had a successful football marathon in Benguche area. And one of my biggest projects was actually writing parks regeneration document for the Dangriga Town Council. So through my studies as an urban planner, I went ahead and devised a plan for each park in the municipality. So we have a development plan for each park where it includes designs, for the parks, and also how do we go about developing and maintaining these parks. So those were some of the projects that I worked on.
Thank you for that information. Earth, I asked Simeon this question earlier this evening. What do you see when you walk around Dangriga? How content are you with our state of living, our state of comfort, our state of access or lack of access? What do you see?
Uh, I'm very discontented. Let's start there. It's disheartening to me as a past member of the town council to see the deplorable conditions that we are living in here in Dangriga. And we can do better. And we must do better. Dangriga has a lot of potential, and what we want is that we want to build on what the identity of Dangriga is, because we do have an identity. We do have a vibe that when people come here, they feel the love. And I think our identity is surrounded, um, on love. It's built on love, and we need people to feel the love when they come to Dangriga, but we also need to feel the love as residents here in Dangriga. We need to live in a community that is clean, that is safe, um, that is accessible. So we need better streets, we need better opportunities, better parks and playgrounds for our children. Um, and so it's disheartening to see the conditions that we're living in currently in the town. And where I see Dangriga is as one of the jewels in this entire country, where we have better beaches, we have better parks and playgrounds, we have a better garbage collection system, better streets with functioning drains, but most importantly, where people are happier. I think what is included in the state of our built environment, our physical environment, is the fact that as a people, we are also feeling depressed. And so when we elevate our environment and our surroundings, the ultimate goal for me is that we have happier residents and happier children.
Very good. There's a question there's a question for you in the comment here, but I think I don't want to, I'm going to pause on that for now. With you, let's just say you become the caretaker, and we know that, I mean, it's safe to believe or to assume that being the caretaker, it's highly likely you will be the one to run up for era representative for standard bearer. Is it safe to assume that? How will you help Dangriga people become economically strong or stronger? How will you help entrepreneurs, small business owners? What will you do to elevate the quality of life for Dangrigana?
So there's this economic development plan that I've devised, and what we basically want to do is to transform Dangriga into a thriving, inclusive economic hub that is powered by who we are as a culture capital. But we also need to improve on our small and medium-sized businesses, and we need to ensure that we have sustainable use of our marine and coastal resources. So, under the strategic goals for that economic development plan, is the overall goal is that we need to bring people into our town. We need to attract people into our town so that the dollar can begin to circulate in Dangriga. And the strategic goals, we want to empower local entrepreneurs and small and medium-sized enterprises through training, funding, market access. We need to leverage our cultural identity more. We need to drive creative tourism, food-based industries. Most importantly, I've written the park policy, but one of the other policies that I want to work on is a beachfront policy, because we need to revitalize our coastal and beachfront zones for sustainable tourism, recreation for our local residents, and also for visitors and also enterprise. We also need to develop infrastructure that supports these economic activities. But at the same time, we also need to preserve our culture while we do that. Strengthen local governance, and that's going to come through writing policy. For the most part, here in Dangriga and in the entire country, we don't write much policy. So, one of the benefits of my leadership is that I'm able to write, devise these policies through active research. So definitely cultural and creative enterprise development, coastal and marine economic activation, small and medium-sized enterprises growth and local value chains, and most importantly, infrastructure and urban renewal. So that's actually one of the most important ones to me as an urban planner. I really want to see that we elevate our built environment, that we improve our public spaces.
Yeah, thank you for that. You said few things that I'm taking mental notes of, and I have to take this time to ask you questions. For example, you mentioned about bringing others to invest. One of my questions for you, I want to lay them out, and then I'm going to go to a comment. I have two questions for you to chew on. How will you find the funding for all these things that you want to do? Because I'm listening to you, it sounds really good. What you're saying, it sounds really good. But how will you get the funding?
Mhm.
And then I want to jump from that. I'm going to ask you about your sentiment on the whole idea of Western dairies. How would you have handled something like that? Let's pause. I want to go to this comment. Just chew on those questions for a bit for me.
Okay.
It says, my question to Earth was, I'm not sure, you probably had a typo here. What was done while unelected for a community? Okay, what was done while you were unelected for a community? That's a comment, that's a question that came in from our viewer. What was done while you were unelected? What was done for the community while you were unelected?
Okay, I think that's similar to the question you asked since the last election, what I have been up to. I
I
think
guess
it's
that could
similar
pass for
to that
that for
one.
true. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. So she did respond to that. In it's a different kind of the same question asking a different way. So let's
Yes.
go back to these. You said you had something you want to say, Earth?
No, I believe I answered that question already when I spoke about what I've been up to since 2021, between 2021 and now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to just give a summary, just as a refresher?
Sure. So what I said previously, perhaps
You
the
don't. You
person
don't have to
logged in
spend a
late.
lot of time on it. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries. Perhaps the person logged in late, but I was saying that since 2021 until now, I have been in the classroom, actively in the classroom. I've also done some professional development in Taiwan and also in the United States before returning to Belize. And that's how I've been keeping up with my community service and my visibility in the community. Through being a teacher, we get to interact with students on a daily basis, and hundreds of students you get to impact for the year. So that's basically what I've been up to, catching up on family. Even added a new member to my family, a handsome baby boy. So yeah, I've
Congrats.
just been, thank you. I've just been, catching up on life, and uh, yeah, that's basically it.
Very good. Thank you, Earth. Now let's go back to these questions. First, all the things we said just now sound really good. It sounds good, but how will you get the funding? That a big problem. We have all
Yeah.
these ideas, but how can you assure us that we get it done?
And we have to get it done. With each problem, it gives us an opportunity to solve that problem. And so for me, there is a financing strategy that I've devised as well. And one of the most important factors include grants and loans. So we need to access funding from different grant lending agencies, funding agencies, sorry, like CABE, CDB, IDB, and even our very own Economic Development Ministry. Um, Also, public-private partnerships. That's a very important one for us in Dangriga because we have a lot of people in the diaspora who we can depend on to fix up a park, because when they come home they have their nice retirement homes. They also want to come home to a positive, uplifting environment. So public private partnerships is an important part of my financial strategy. uh, Diaspora bonds and community crowdfunding for specific community infrastructure projects, like fixing up the parks, for example, and different revenue streams like cultural events. We're going to charge fees, vendor permits, ecotourism tours, branded product sales. So those are things that we could do um, to kind of buff up our financing strategy. And I believe that if we have a phased implementation timeline, it also helps us to build that credibility. So I wouldn't wait until I'm elected as era rep. Like the work that I want to do will start now from 2025 to 2026 would be the planning phase, stakeholder forums. Again, I'm big on consultation. When I wrote the park policy, I ensured that I consulted, I spoke to the children, I gave them a survey, and I found out what exactly do you want in your parks and what are your needs, what are your interests. So stakeholder forums, consultation, infrastructure design, that would be the first phase. The second phase from 2027 to 2028, SME finance, beach and boardwalk launch, business hub setup, and 2029 to 2030, expansion of marine creative zones, diaspora led projects. So each phase builds and leads up to the other phase. And some of the key actions that we're going to take in this phase approach in the first year: conduct baseline studies, like I said, consultations, secure funding through writing proposals. In the second year, then that's where we begin to see some of these projects come to life after we have secured some funding, attract investors, and host different events like a national Garfana Expo. So those are things that I have interest in.
You seem like you're going to freeze up. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay,
I'm not
thank
sure
you.
how long ago I
Now,
froze up.
yeah, let's talk about, if you were the mayor, how would you have handled this Western Dairy situation? And this is something, it slipped me. I wanted to ask Simeon as well, and I didn't get, well, when I interviewed Aaron, it never transpired then. But if you were the mayor, how would you have handled this situation with Western Dairies?
Interesting question. The situation with Western dairies, like Mr. Lorenzo said, it's important that we listen to all sides of the situation that unfolded. It's very unfortunate and it is a bad look what transpired and how it transpired. And I believe that the intervention from the mayor is necessary and it is important for us to dialogue with our businesses in our town to ensure that they treat all the employees, sorry, fairly, and to ensure that their rights are not trampled upon. And I believe that that is where the mayor can be impactful in this entire ordeal that took place, um, through speaking to them, finding out more about exactly what transpired, but also to ensure that um, our businesses are treating all the employees fairly.
All right. When I thank you for your answer, by the way. And I know it's a sensitive situation and I won't keep you long on it because it wouldn't be fair to um, grill you on that situation. You're not the mayor. I hope maybe Aaron could comment, maybe Simeon could comment, Richard could comment. I'm really curious as to how each and every one of you would have handled that situation without commenting on it. Now, moving forward, we're at almost at the end of this segment for your interview. Let's say you win. Today, we find out on October 5th, maybe midnight or way before midnight, Earth Lopez is the new caretaker for Dangriga, Saraway, and Hope Creek. What's the first thing you would do?
So we're gonna find out in an hour, within an hour, the election, the convention results. And
Oh, within an hour.
yes, within an hour, because the
Within
boxes
an
will
hour
be
of
counted
what?
within the hour of the polls closing.
Okay, okay, very good.
Yes, because the boxes will be counted simultaneously, and we will have two boxes on convention day. So I want to first appeal to the entire Dangriga constituency that includes Dangriga, Sarawi, and Hope Creek that it's an open convention, because this is one of the questions that I get a lot. Who can come? Who can vote? It's an open convention and all are welcome. So if you're a UDP, POP, no P, two of the P's, all are welcome to come out and vote at the convention. Polls open at 10 and close at 5 p.m. So we should know who win the convention by 6 p.m. And I do believe that I will turn out victorious at this convention. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is to hug up all the people who have been instrumental um, in my victory. So I'm speaking it into existence, but definitely to thank everyone who are supporting me. I have campaigners who are working for me for free. So that is the type of support that I'm getting. And they're telling me that money is not a big factor in this convention. And that's not going to determine who the winner of this convention will be. And so I'm really grateful. It doesn't matter what the results will be. I'm already feeling like a winner because I have great support. Um, I have people who they're they're giving their time, they're giving their resources because they believe in my candidacy, they believe in the leadership that I have to offer. And so the first thing I would do is to thank them. I'm already thanking them in advance. Um, yeah, and then we go from there. After that, we definitely need to ensure that we put together a strong executive for the party in this constituency. And that all adds to us presenting a viable opposition to the country, which is so desperately needed at this time. And then after that, we go straight into preparing for the next municipal elections, which would be 2027.
Mm.
Definitely, we begin working on what our shared goals are. And so there are a lot of things that I would do, but definitely the first thing would be to thank everyone who has been supporting me and who has supported me up to that point.
Thank you, Earth. Before I give you the opportunity to share your last words with your supporters, with those who you will need to encourage to vote for you, I want to remind each and every one of you that on the 28th, September 28th, that's Sunday, September 28th, we're hosting the Voices of Dangriga event, the symposium at the Russell Chiste Auditorium. We have booths available for local entrepreneurs. We have some booths that were already paid for, secured as well, with some of your names on the booths. All right. Earth is sponsoring Miss Yadira Diego. So I believe Yadira is going to be out there with her ice cream. Is that correct, Earth?
Yes.
Yes. We have one booth available from Mr. Simeon Lorenzo as well. He is sponsoring a booth that doesn't have any name on it just yet. So if you know anyone interested in securing a booth at this event, let them contact me, contact the Obafo page, all right? Using the Obafo page via iMessaging. They could secure a booth. We also have 3 booths by Mr. Aaron Anderson as well. So We have 4 booths total. This is for local entrepreneurs. This is for those of you guys who you're doing some type of craft, you want to be there, you want to showcase your art, your services, what it is that you're doing. We will have space for you at this event. So reach out, send a message via the Obafo TV page. Earth, back to you again, my dear. This is your opportunity to vibe with the people of Dangriga, to vibe with your supporters, and to encourage those who might be on the fence, who might say, I don't know, or talk to them.
First of all, thank you for this opportunity. Um, at the beginning, I was expecting my first question to be, tell us about yourself, because while a lot of people know me, there are also many people who probably they don't know much about me. And so I want to start off by saying a little bit about who I am. And who I am is a person of deep love for my community. And it's not something that I'm saying, it's something that I have shown over the years and throughout my lifetime. Ever since I was that kid going to Holy Ghost School, I have always been grounded in community work, active Girl Guide, active Brownie. I experienced the days when we had campfire burning in front of Sacred Heart School. And so I've always had that deep rooted love for my community and for community service. And so, who I am is a person who really truly cares and loves this community. And by extension, the entire Dangriga constituency. I've been to Sarawi. I'm going to be in Hope Creek very shortly. Um, but just love to see development and also want to be a part of it. And so my appeal to the voters is that we come out on convention day. I know it is a party convention, and sometimes we don't want to get involved in party politics, but the candidates voted for an open convention because we want the entire community to be involved, to get involved. And this is your opportunity to help the United Democratic Party to put forward the best candidate. And I think that is a great opportunity because oftentimes we're just presented a candidate and then we're given those choices on election day. So we're given the opportunity to choose the best of 4 candidates running. And I want to encourage you to come out and give my candidacy a chance, to give my leadership a chance. I have been active in the community. I'm no stranger to the community, and I look forward to continue my work through this new capacity as caretaker of the United Democratic Party. It's an open convention. I've been getting a lot of support from the young people. A lot of people are saying we have never had a woman era rep before from the United Democratic Party. The last one was Honorable Sylvia Flores, and she did a great job. And so they're looking forward to another female era representative. And if that is your vision for your constituency, this is where it starts next week, Sunday. This is where it all starts. So I will have to get over this hump first for me to be able to even contest the general elections. And so I appeal to you for your support, and I thank you in advance for your support.
Would you be open to a debate?
Yes, of course.
I'm curious. It would be, I observe the way how they do things. I mean, please not eat off my head, people, by for saying this, but the way how they do things in the United States. And I admire Citizens for Good Governance, CGG, for taking up that responsibility to keep leaders accountable. But it would be interesting to see a debate between you, Eddie Webster, Aaron
Richard.
Anderson, and Simeon Lorenzo.
Richard Webster.
Richard, I'm sorry, Richard
Uh-huh.
Webster. I so used to the senior.
Senior.
Senior is Eddie Webster, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Richard Webster. That would be interesting. I would love to see something like that. Who knows? Maybe they might agree and somebody might take up the challenge. Earth, you've been wonderful. Thank you for all the answers to my questions. Um, I don't see any more comments in the comment box. Hold on, hold on. Mr. Anzo, okay, I read that already. Yeah, no comments. Thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate you. All the best. It's October 5th. They're right over there, so
Yes. Next
just
Sunday.
right, literally right over there. So we're gonna have just one more week, pretty much or less, to keep campaigning. I want to applaud each and every one of you for stepping up to the plate. To you, Earth Lopez, to Aaron Anderson, to Simeon Lorenzo, to Richard Webster. He's the only one I haven't interviewed. Maybe he might reach out. But good luck to each and every one of you. Thanks again, Earth. I will continue to talk about this. I could disconnect from here, Earth, unless there's anything else you want to share before you close out.
No, that was basically it. I'm not sure if anybody had any questions for me.
Yeah, I don't see any question in the comment box. All right. So thanks again, my dear, and good luck. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're most welcome.
Good night.
All right, folks. So now you're back with me again. I really have to comment just a bit on this whole Dangriga consultation thing with the government. This is something each and every one of us must be in tune with. Decisions will be made on our behalf. The Constitution is the highest law in the land. When the Constitution is amended, when they amend the Constitution, it's not an easy thing to just go and take it out, right? After you're done, add something in there. That's simple. This is going to carry on for decades. It's going to carry on for many years. They did us wrong here in Dangriga. Are we going to accept this? I am trying my utmost best to not call out anybody, but it's difficult to not call out people when we put ourselves in a leadership. They will come to Dangriga, inform the people that they will make themselves available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. About 24 hours before the scheduled date, or less than 24 hours. They change the venue. I wouldn't be surprised if some people gone a town hall. Because not everybody there on Facebook, like where our dear friend said, not everybody there on Facebook. Not everybody is keeping up with what's online. So Dangriga is going to accept this. Why? Because we will not demand better. We will not say to our mayor, we will not say to our area rep, bring them back. I went to Russell Chiste auditorium. I got there about 1 or shortly after 1. I shared this story earlier. I had friends that were sending me messages informing me that, hey, this thing crashed, it done. They ended before 12 o'clock. I asked our era representative, Louis Zabani. I asked our mayor, Mariano, Robert Mariano, how important is it for you to inform, keep the people educated and informed about the 13th Amendment. No effort, no serious effort has been put in to make sure that we, the people, know what's happening. No effort. Send out one letter, put it per Facebook, and who attend, who no attend, whatever. It's all good. You know, these people will do what they want. I think here in Belize, it's going to get to a point where the pot is going to get so hot and it's going to bubble that things will get out of hand. Because these ministers, these leaders keep taking advantage of the Belizean people. Take, for example, yes, are going to this Budna situation. It's not even about Budna. I am disappointed in most of you, especially you PUP, diehard PUP followers. And please, UDPs, will not jump up because that the PUP the in now and point fingers and say yes, 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 yes. Because all I know that the same thing. All I know that the same. Party politics. Party politics. Budna, they carry the government that court now. You know who will pay for that? Who is going to pay for all the legal fees? They are talking about amending the constitution so that they could um, um, call certain areas special areas. And any area they classify as a special area, they could just go in without a warrant, without warning, without anything, and drag you out from there. They try to make it sound simple, like that is not what they're doing. But with what they did to Budna, if we are not concerned about giving these people more power on top of what they already have. Look at this whole Budna situation. Nobody can get to the bottom of it. I had an interview the commissioner, or the one where they take over for the commissioner right now. If he watched the video, they always come with some ridiculous answer. And this is what makes me believe that all these people, I am assuming, I am alleging that they are working for the government because they could never give a straight up answer. They were asked this one where they take over for the commissioner. If he see the video or if he had grant access to the video, he not really bother with that. He is leaving that up for the head investigator. What's her name? They always come up with some type of bogus, stupid excuse to get themselves out of hot water. One after the other. They have no interest in solving this crime. Then look again. People, please educate on yourself. What they are looking to do when, after they finish with the investigation, instead of taking it to the DPP, which is how it's supposed to be, instead of taking the completed report to the DPP, they will take that report and hand it to the Prime Minister of Belize. Budna is suing the government. Who is going to pay for all the attorney fees? Folks, while I'm at it, we're organizing to have a bus from Hopkins that's going to be leaving Hopkins at 1 p.m. On Sunday afternoon to go to the event Voices of Dangriga Unmuting the Truth, Demanding Change. That's on Sunday, September 28th. Hope you guys will make it. So we're arranging a bus to leave from Hopkins at 1 p.m. The bus is going to circle around Dangriga Town for those of you who live in Bengoshe, Wagerale area. The bus will circle Dangriga to make it easy for you guys who might want to attend this event. I am asking each and every one of you tonight watching this live, please share this live. Help spread the word. If you believe in what we are doing, what I am doing, if you believe in, if you like the content, please share. The flyer, Voices of Dangriga, I'm asking you guys to share the flyer, share the event, tell your friends to attend, tell your parents, tell your children. I'm hoping that we're going to get most of our youths to come out and learn. Trust me, this is going to be an impactful event. Don't miss out. Folks, Dangriga, we are being complacent. You know what complacency is? You know what it means when someone is being complacent or when a group of people is being complacent? Complacency is doing absolutely nothing, just continue on with whatever suffering you to go through. Even when you could do something about it, you assume that it just a fix itself or somebody just a come and fix it. That's being complacent. We expect that year after year, we're going to go and support these corrupt politicians and expect that they will do good for us. How long has Dangriga been downtrodden? How long have we been downtrodden? I talk about the deep water port, Commerce Bike. Research has shown, I will say this as much as I could say it. Research has shown that the most suitable area for a deep water port is Dangriga, Commerce Bike. But this government will spend almost or a little bit over $400 million to dredge, to prepare for a port in the Belize City area. When Dangriga don't have one, don't suitable, you don't need for the dredge like that. Damage the environment. I asked Dickie Bradley during my last interview with Dickie, because Dickie brought up the whole port as well. I said, Dickie, why you think they not come build it that Dangriga? Dickie say, uno da garifuna, uno da for Dangriga, they no care about, you know. So, why, friends and family? I will stop ask why. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Earth mentioned that municipal election is in 2027. Who's going to be our next mayor? Is Mariano running up again? Should he run up again? Should Mariano run up again? Who's going to run up? Who's going to be the one to give Dangriga some type of hope? Who? Comment. Comment in your opinion, who's going to give Dangriga some type of hope? The lone kiss asses will deal with. People who kiss, kiss, kiss. It's so annoying. It's annoying. It's sickening. The way I see some of my brothers and sisters behave on behalf of their political party. It's a shame how some of you behave. Defending a political party, riding with this party even when you don't understand what the hell happened. I will close off by addressing or by summarizing this consultation issue in Dangriga again. Your government the Briceño administration, they put out a release telling the people of Dangriga that they will have a consultation to talk about the 13th Amendment. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's what the paper said. That's what the release said. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 11 people attended, so they say. And out of that 11, they were able to determine the sentiment of the people of Dangriga. Like, uno really like take people for jackasses. Like, honestly, uno take people for dumbasses. Out of 11 people, uno talk about how the sentiment divided, that people, some want it, some don't want it. Nobody want it. We don't want it. We do not agree with the 13th Amendment. I want to start something. I am asking all of you online. I'm going to create something that says no to the 13th Amendment. Let's all put it on our profile because this government is trying to play a Nancy and they're not smart enough. They're not in the play a Nancy, then they make it so brazen. In a broad daylight. They tell the Dangriga people, uno no matter. Uno no matter. They assign from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They started after 10 and they bail out before 12 o'clock. Is it because they don't like Dangriga? What is it? Is it because what? Uno not think Dangriga people educated enough for us to come and ask questions? What is it? Is it because uno just want to play this game? And you know, go on the page, go on their Facebook page, all the show, all the pictures and videos they put up on the page that close up. Close up. So you can't really tell the setting in the room. These people are hypocrites. They are the biggest gangsters. They are corrupt. They had no intention to educate the people of Dangriga. They had no intention to consult with us. Shame on Louis Zabani. You are our era representative. You couldn't tell if you wait or that because you no matter in a case there. Uno they play with taxpayers too much. You all are behaving as if though we are working for you. You are working for us. We the taxpayers. Dangriga people, Belizean people, we have to understand that we, the people, are the ones paying for all the lavish lifestyle for these bloodsuckers. That we the pay for their living expenses. We are the ones paying. As soon as March 12th was election day. March 12th, they raised salary increase for CEOs. When everybody is struggle and they talk about they don't know where they are finding this, they don't know where they are getting money from for this and this and that. But they raise salaries for CEOs. And on top of the salary increase, they still get perks, but over 1,500 perks. Plus they get some of their bills taken care of. Then they could drive and go where they want to go. And now we, the poor people, they take care of all of that. Now Budna, they carry in that court. Who are paid for their attorney fees? me and you. Friends and family, I will be going live daily leading up to the Voices of Dangriga event. I am humbly asking each and every one of you to participate, to step out. I'm asking you to share the flyer. Please share the flyer. It's on the Obafo TV page. We have a healthy lineup. These are the type of events, in my humble opinion, we need to start to promote more and more. Thank you guys for joining tonight. Thank you for stopping by. And let's hold each other accountable. Let's do better day by day. Zavia Afini, Beba Omoganisani. Good night to each and every one of you. Bandi Isini, Bandi Sereme, Inebese. One love, respect.